Do you think that there's a perfect diet out there for the whole planet? I know there's been times in the past when I felt this way and I was very evangelical about a certain diet. Was it the paleo diet? Was it the keto diet? Was it Weight Watchers? Various times I've been on different diets over the 4 decades that I've been dieting, and I would feel very strongly about it because I would have success at the beginning. Sometimes I'd be able to keep the weight off for 5, 6, 7 months, maybe 9 months, but all of them failed eventually. All of them I couldn't maintain. I didn't have success with any of them. And finally, once my weight kept creeping up more and more, I got into the obese category. I was 210 pounds at least. I had stopped weighing myself. I'm pretty sure I was over that. I was writing about this the other day on Facebook. I sort of tried to compile some of my thoughts on this perfect diet idea. So I'll just read it now. I believe there is no perfect diet that can be marketed to everyone. Keto, vegetarian, carnivore, paleo, vegan, Weight Watchers, Atkins, Mediterranean, Whole30, and 1,000 other diets that have been presented as the best diet. They all fall short. Why? Because all of the almost 8 billion people who are alive today are different. Yes, we have much in common, but we also have so much variety in our backgrounds, our genetics, our environments, and what food we have access to. It is truly ridiculous to assume we can eat exactly the same and thrive. How can we tell the Inuit to eat vegan when they can't grow wheat and oats out in their garden due to the climate? How can we tell someone who lives in the city to eat grass-fed and organic when their only grocery store sells factory-farmed foods and very few options? Let's stop playing the blame game on what people should and shouldn't eat and drink and just focus on our own body and mind and what works for us. Less blame, more compassion and generosity will improve our outlook and those we meet today and in the future. We can see that we each are the author of our own life and can define, based on scientific research plus our own experience and other people's experiences, we can define what will work best for us today and then again tomorrow and the next day. I've tried to follow some of the diets listed above and many others too. They all failed when I tried to follow only one diet at a time. I had to adapt several diets together before I found what worked for my body, and I'm still adapting and figuring it out as my body changes as I age. I have to see what foods and drinks bring on inflammation or bloating or joint pain or heart arrhythmia or mind fog or even mild allergic reactions, and which diets I can afford and have access to based on where I live. I can't go out into my garden every day when I live up here in Canada and we have cold weather for 5 months of the year. I don't have a garden that I can access. I don't have access to that. I don't live in California or in the tropics. So that's what I have access to or not have access to. Learning what we need for our own diet, what we eat and drink, this brings a sense of independence and freedom. We don't have to follow rigid rules. We don't have to count calories for years and years. We don't have to count points for years and years. We don't have to count carbs for years and years. We don't have to buy expensive foods. We are all empowered with amazing minds and bodies, and we can use our minds to learn new information that will free us from the guilt and shame we have carried for far too long from failing to follow these strict diets. So I believe there's no perfect diet that can be marketed to everyone. But I do believe there are principles that can help everyone when deciding what and when they should eat and drink. If you're listening to this, you've probably tried some of the diets listed above and others too. I hope you can start to take the guilt and the shame off your shoulders and realize that you are an amazing human. You are capable of living a healthy life. Learn, experiment, and learn some more, and you will start to see your body and mind improve and grow healthier each day. Trust yourself more. Those are my thoughts about the perfect diet and the fact that I believe there are 8 billion diets out there because there's 8 billion people. We each have our own body to figure out. We can use scientific research, we can use our own experience, we can use other people's experience, but we have to create it ourselves and what will work for us at our stage in our life, based on where we live, based on what we have access to, based on what we can afford. And it takes the guilt and the shame away. I don't have to feel guilty for all those failed diets. Those were just experiments to try to find the right one. I don't have to feel guilty that I don't have the money to buy organic food and the grass-fed meat and the perfect diet. There is no perfect diet. And when we shame each other for saying you need to eat this and everybody should eat this way, it just brings a lot of negativity into the world, and it's not actually true, because I can't tell you how to eat and drink. I don't know what your genetics are like. I don't know what your experience is like, and same with for you to tell me. So if we can each just chill, not be stressed so much, and not judge each other. And there's been some really aha moments for me in the last year, especially about when I've been losing the weight while I've been maintaining the weight, that when I would listen to somebody and they'd been a vegetarian for 15 years, I think, how did they do it? How can their body do that? I can't go without meat and eggs and all of those things for a few days. I would be so weak. And they can do it for 15 years. Some people have been vegetarians for 30 years. Some people can be vegetarians their whole life. Some people can be vegans. Some people can be carnivores. I'm learning more about the carnivore diet. I don't know how they can do it. I know that our genetics are different. So if the Inuit can mostly live off of the fat of seals and protein, and they have very little fresh vegetables, let alone fruit, for much of their year, and they have survived for so long, and then other people who have access to a green garden year-round because they live in the tropics and they can pick the fruit from the trees year-round, the bodies adapt. We have different enzymes in our stomachs. When we lived in Brazil for 8.5 years, off and on over a 15-year time frame, we would eat very different foods when we were in Brazil compared to when we were up in Canada or in the US. Our bodies adapted even to that different type of a diet. We might be able to try something that we've not tried in the past. Maybe we could try carnivore, or we could try vegetarian and see if it worked better. But to judge other people, to say everybody should be eating this way, I understand that the scientists and the doctors are coming from their perspective, but let's also understand they have a bias. Everybody has a bias. And so what works for them in their body, they are bringing that bias in too. So we all have to become our own science experiment. I really believe that. That's how I've experimented with my own body and found what worked. And so let's take the judgment away. I know this is a controversial topic. A lot of the topics I talk about are controversial, but I want to talk about them. And I want to take some of the shame off of your shoulders, as I have been able to do for mine. And let's also not shame other people. If they can do the vegan diet, more power to them. If they can do the vegetarian diet, more power to them. If they can eat carnivore, more power to them. That's awesome that their body has adapted and that they are in good health. And that's the goal, that we all are in good health, that we're all at a healthy body weight, healthy BMI, and we're living our best life. I'm getting there. I'm getting to living my best life, as I have finally, after 50 years, discovered how to maintain my weight, getting in shape, and it's exciting. And I'm just sharing my journey, and I'm sharing some of my point of view with you. Feel free to comment below in the comment section, send me a message on Facebook, and share this video, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.